Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Market Update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. This show is brought to you by tokenmetrics.com. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in crypto, then subscribe to this channel. Turn on the alerts bell so you can be notified when we're going live. And if you like the content, please give us a like and a thumbs up. All right, let's say hello to everybody joining the stream today. We have Taz, welcome, as always. Logan, Garrow, hi. All right, we have Sheldon from the Caribbean, San Paulo. Okay, the UPS gang is rolling from Brooklyn. Welcome, Derek. All right, we have Corona, California. Sushi Nori says, what's up, Bill? How are you today? Well, I'm doing good, and I am here cranking it out so I can keep you guys posted on all the good chart points in crypto, right? We have Ireland and Luxembourg, right? Hamid giving me some notorious love. Appreciate that, right? Brazil, Boston, right? Pittsburgh, and of course, our friends in London, right? Tony made some buys a few days ago, Gallo, Phantom, and Render. All right, I'm glad. I hope that worked out. We have, Tel Aviv in the house. Okay, folks, let's jump into your market update. What's the next move? It's been quite a while since I've seen people have such unbelievable feelings of FOMO. I know I'm having it too. I feel like I missed the bottom of the dawn of crypto saving humanity from fiat currency, war, and depression. But I'm trying to keep my cool, and I would encourage you to do the same. All right? We're going to go through all the charts. We're going to go through altcoins, the DeMark work, which makes for great TV, especially those intraday charts. So we're going to go through everybody's altcoins. So don't go anywhere. All right. First of all, it is Women's History Month. So to try to get women in crypto and to celebrate Women's History Month, we have got a perpetual 10% off discount, meaning if you use the discount code WIC10, right, you will get 10% off. And if you don't cancel, that discount will carry forward, right? If prices go up, you will always have a 10% discount. This is good until March 31st. So our AI has begun to pick up again, finding cool small altcoins, right? As well as picking up on, the trend in things like Luna. So go to our website, check it out, 10% off Token Metrics. Now, war and macro fatigue is kicking in, I can tell, right? Crude oil for delivery in the United States is up massively. According to the Wall Street Journal, banks and oil tanker companies are just refusing to do business with Russia, right? I guess they're worried about them being cut off the SWIFT system, right? And banks are just worried that lending money for the transfer of oil, right, is not worth it. So there is oil in Russia, but it's not getting out. Well, there are upside targets for the U.S. crude oil. It's like 128. For Brent for delivery in London, it's 116, right? Currently, both are over 100, right? I've heard talk of prices way above 100. So today is a quiet day. The Fed came out and said that they're not going to hike rates. They're going to just do 25 basis points. So originally it was 50 basis points and we're going to stop printing money. Now it's 25 basis points and, no word on printing money. I guess that means business as usual. So equities are up today, gag me with a spoon. But stocks are up because they think less Fed rate hikes and more QE, right? But what they may not be realizing is that the reason that Powell is doing less rate hikes is because there's dramatic stress in the banking system because of what's happening with Russia. I mean, Russia is a huge country, and they're about to go into a massive economic depression. Okay? So for the moment, bad news is good news for stocks. All right. We'll see what happens with the Fed meeting on the 16th. We'll also see if Vladimir Putin just takes all this lying down. All right. Let's go to Bitcoin. Now, believe it or not, I have a watch list of all the things you can watch for the crisis outside the crypto world. And then I realized after I made the watch list, even though it's important, that it may be time to return just back to plain old crypto charts, right? So in Bitcoin, we have resistance at 44,800. And I don't know anybody that doesn't want to just FOMO in right this second. But there's resistance at 44,800 and there's resistance at 46,500. So I don't necessarily want to buy it when it's up against resistance. Now, there could be a small dip. There could be a huge dip. We don't know yet, right? But I think from what I'm seeing, the most important position that you can manage right now is your own emotions. Is your emotions. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin, bigger picture. There's a head and shoulders top. It's a bearish formation. The neckline comes in at 46K. So every time Bitcoin has gone up to 46K, it has looked amazing. It has been like, oh my God, I have to buy it right this second. And then it's gone down. Okay. So here's how you would play it. If Bitcoin goes through 46K, right, and it shows that it wants to stay above that, then this bearish formation will be invalidated and Bitcoin would go up. But I don't think you're buying it in front of 46K, right? There may be other plays, say in the altcoin universe, or just waiting to see what happens, right? I mean, is Bitcoin going to turn around and go to 100K tomorrow? I don't think so. So you've got time, right? You've got time, and guys, I know guys are out there searching their soul going, all right, I missed it. Now what? And I think people in crypto are taking it personally because, they miss sort of the dawn of crypto as, the idea of something that makes man free regardless of, war and depression. That's all right. The most important thing is let's trade off charts, not our emotions. Now, in Bitcoin on an 8-hour chart, the best support point I can come up with is 41K. Right? It seems like Bitcoin got a little bit overstretched. So there could be a dip to 41K. Right? And now let's hold out to see if it can come down to support or not. Now in Ethereum, right? I have to admit, I'm having a little bit of trouble controlling FOMO myself in Ethereum, but 3007 has held 3 or 4 times, including the rally this morning. So there's support at 2843 in ETH. And I say, let it trade, right? Just let it trade. Let it try to come down to a good support point. And if it doesn't come down to a support point, then we'll make decisions from there, right? But don't buy into a wall of resistance. Now let's look at on-chain data in ETH. Let's talk about what we see. So when the bars are red, that means, there's so much selling pressure in ETH, right, that it actually costs you to be short. And when the bars are green, That means people are looking to get long, right? And futures funding, it requires longs to pay the shorts. Now, one thing I noticed from the chart, at least since January or at least December, is that every time it goes green and every time everybody's all bullish, it goes down. And every time it gets all red and people get bearish, it goes back up again. All right. Now, you would want to see in ETH, you would want to see green funding rates and ETH green on a sustained basis. So you can say to yourself, okay, the pattern has changed, right? Has the pattern changed? Let it develop. All right, let's look at some of the coins that we've been talking about. Phantom had a nice bottom, right? And now it's come up to an initial support, a resistance point at 208. So total value locked in Phantom has exploded. Perhaps, it goes from $1.75 to 208. And if you're a short-term trader, maybe you take the money. Now, if you want to think longer term, and you want to explore this idea that massive amounts of capital is going to flood into DeFi, and you wanted to hold Phantom, I wouldn't blame you. If you're playing with the house's money and you want to risk what profits you're taking, why not? Now, again, the market has paid you to buy it when it looks terrible and sell it when it looks awesome. So keep that in mind. Now, that said, Phantom, total value locked, exploded, right? So capital is definitely coming in to the decentralized world. Okay, Luna. All right, I've identified 92 as an epic point in Luna. So it's simple, right? If Luna can get through 92, then it's probably going to 140. Yesterday, we were talking about a blow off in Luna to 100. Now I'm sort of the opinion that Luna can hang around 92, but if it doesn't back off and breaks out, it could go to 140. Again, you may be spending a lot of time on DeFi Llama, right? Total value locked in Luna exploded and made a new high, okay? So sometimes throughout the last 6 months, we've seen instances where crypto is like a one-coin market. Like first it was Solana, then it was Avalanche, and now, Luna's been going up for days. I was like, I don't know how seriously I took it. I was like, yeah, Luna could go to 87. And then Luna really did go to 87. And the next thing you know, it's at 92. And now I'm like, well, wait a minute. I don't know if you have to pay 92 for it. I would wait. But if it breaks through 92, it's going to 140. Now let's talk about Near. This is tricky. So Near's got an accumulation cone, right? So, Near around $8 or $9 was a real nifty buy. Now it's at 12, right? And it's got to get above $12.13 before it really takes off. All right. If there is something in this world, there's like Cosmos, Near, Luna, right? Phantom, some of these protocols, and we're looking at, we're looking at other ones. We were talking about the smaller coins on the premium customer webinar today, right? But what you're going to want to see, particularly if Bitcoin goes down or stabilizes, can some of these altcoins that have been destroyed, like say Matic, right? Stuff that's really beaten up, Chainlink, right? Near, I think, is going to be the poster child for the altcoin space. So if Near breaks out above 12, altcoins do better. If Near consolidates, altcoins consolidate. All right. And that is the market update. Now I'm going to jump straight into altcoin overtime or on-chain overtime. Just going to bring you a few details. Now, one of the reasons why you had the violent short squeeze in Bitcoin is that orange line effectively represents Bitcoin being moved into cold storage. Okay. There's just no supply of physical Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes down, it's probably because short sellers, it's futures-based hedging. Now, when I saw this chart, I was like, I wonder if dips in Bitcoin may be smaller than people hope for. In other words, there's either going to be small dips or a catastrophe. Now, strangely enough, with equities up, Bitcoin is down. So it's unbelievable that this is totally shifted to where Bitcoin and equities move together to now, obviously, I think if equities blow up because of oil or problems with Russian banks, that actually may benefit crypto, right? Which is truly unbelievable. So it may be small dips that you have to play. Let's wait and see. But the scarcity of Bitcoin is not in doubt. Now, this is from yesterday. This is just simply the supply of Bitcoin being shipped to centralized exchanges by miners. Okay. And, yesterday I was like, yeah, maybe miners might sell if regulators come after Bitcoin. But then I was like, wait a minute. If Bitcoin is being moved into cold storage and miners don't provide supply, who is providing supply? Right? So I don't want you to FOMO, but I think it's time to start looking at, how scarce is Bitcoin and how could that possibly lead to people coming into Bitcoin and then coming into crypto in mass, right? So it's more of a belief in crypto rather than anything that, supports trading activity right this second. Here's another belief in crypto chart from on-chain data. So when you see this yellow histogram spike up, as I understand it, this reflects like smart money either selling into a rally or puking out into a climactic bear market like what happened in 2018. All right. Now, one thing you're going to notice on the far right-hand side is that, every time Bitcoin moons, smart money takes some profits. Well, on the last run up, smart money never took profits. They did not sell. So that's the first, Bitcoin rally where there really was no smart money selling on the way up. Now, what do you take from that? Well, that means, smart money is determined to hodl Bitcoin. They're just determined. Now, either they're going to get washed out because of regulatory action against Bitcoin, or they're just going to hold it, right? And that's probably why crypto ripped up the way it did. You didn't miss it, right? It's just that there was no supply with futures players getting super short. Now, just a reminder, today with gold down, all right, there is the teacup and handle formation in gold, meaning gold can go a lot higher. Now, gold's down today, as is Bitcoin. Part of me is like, good, right? You want to get in on red days, right? So you can have at least a partial position. So here is a strategy to end off the market update. Let's say you had no position, right? Do whatever helps you sleep at night. If you want to buy a small dip to 41 so you have something going on, okay. If you want to try to buy some altcoins and take a shot with a stop loss, okay, right? I just don't think you FOMO in with the rent money until you see sort of like the new regime as to how crypto trades. All right, folks, and that is the market update. All right, let's see what we got going on in the chat. Okay. ETH is old FOMO. Axel thinks BTC is the next gold. Okay. People looking at Vulcan, Maker, Alchemix, Helium, Cellframe. Okay. Atom, I think, is available on big centralized exchanges. Okay. And then people are looking at Maker and Aave. All right, let's go. Let's pick up our altcoin system here. Okay, Stay with me. All right, here it comes. Okay, so let's just take a look at very short-term charts of Bitcoin and ETH quickly. So this is the 90-minute chart of Bitcoin, right? You can see this 5. That means a DeMark 5-wave top, which could mean a correction. You've also got the 13 top here, which also could mean a correction. So if this is helping sort of reduce your FOMO, then, let's just see how this plays out. Always stay tuned here on the market update to see how these DeMark charts and these, top and bottom signals, how they develop. So you've got the 13 top going on in ETH as well. Very tough. A lot of rushes up higher. So let's see how it trades on the dip. Do you get a big move? Like, look at this 13 bottom down here at 2,200, right? That triggered a huge move. What kind of move will you get here? Do you get a small dip or a big dip? That'll tell you a lot about trend strength. You get a 13 top and it doesn't move, all right? That can be a very powerful signal. Don't go anywhere. Stay here for the market update. In the meantime, if you're looking for like a prediction, it would be just don't buy resistance. It didn't pay to sell support, and I don't think it's going to pay to buy resistance. Okay, let's try to look at Maker. Okay, so the daily chart of Maker, like a lot of these things, it shows that Maker got totally washed out and probably bottomed if this symbol is right. All right, now in the short term, there's not a lot going on except there's resistance, right around 2002. So no big DeMark topping signals necessarily, but there's really stiff resistance there. And I'm just not in the mood to FOMO into anything at right this second. Okay, let's take a look at Helium. Seems like we're getting a lot of regular requests for that. Okay, so this is a 4-hour chart of Helium. Here was your 13 tops around, $25. And now it's probably coming close to a 9 bottom around 24. So, this like modest back and forth range trade, everyone's selling at 25.5 and everybody buying at 23. This may be the reality, right? Until we get the next big move in equities one way or the other. Somebody was also asking for Aave. Such a sucker for a good DeFi play, even though I can recognize that most likely some layer 2 solutions are going to have to come out in order to return beta to DeFi, according to one analyst I read. All right. And we are actually researching those tokens that are going to be released that will return the beta to DeFi. Make sure you stay tuned. Tokenmetrics.com subscribers will be getting those reports. All right. Aave, again, at 150. And a lot of altcoins look like this. Folks, it's making a base. That's good. It could be a teacup and handle. Can't really draw that on this system, right? So there's no top or bottom signal here, but just what there is a range. And the market needs to prove it can break out of that range before you can go, okay, yes, a bottom is in, right? Right now, you're just looking at kind of a listless dip after people, really tried to chase it and FOMO in. Okay, let's go to our other system and take a look at, let me see if I can get up sell frame. All right, it looks like I can't get that up on TradingView except versus Wrap ETH. Okay, I have STMX here. Okay, so not the best, not the worst. Let's look at the daily chart. Now, in speculative coins like this, right, you have to ask yourself, if something goes from 0.012 to 0.016, which is a pretty big percentage move, do I want to chase that? Right? Now, I'm assuming people ask about these coins because they bought them and they may be trapped in them. What I would say with this right here is, will the ceiling act as the floor? This was the old ceiling right around 0.0145. So I'll label this chart STMX 89-minute. Okay. And then there's 0.0149 is the support point. This brings me to another key point. It's not a bull market until you can, it's not a bull market until you can buy a dip and make money. Right? So if you can buy the dip in this and it turns around and goes up, then you know that maybe a bottom is in. Right? The question is, can you buy a dip and make money? All right, let's look at ALCX. I believe that's Alchemix. Okay, so in Alchemix, it's like a world of pain, right? In other words, there was this gigantic give up trade earlier in the year, right? Most likely people taking tax losses for this year. And I hate to say it, but in Alchemix, it may be as simple as this. The old floor was 135, right? And then, I don't know, roughly around 137. So Alchemix has to recover above a certain level, right? It's got to show you that the bulls are back in charge, right? And if the bulls are not back in charge, then, you know, you have to be concerned about additional downside. All right, let's just check the market. I always like to do an intermediate market check. Now let's take a look at coins that I know people are really interested in, right? Someone's going to ask about crypto.com, no doubt. All right. So crypto.com has the 13 top on the 4-hour chart, right? And it's got a lot of people like really doing that FOMO in, right? It's tough to hold off. It's tough, right? We got to see what kind of dip we get. You know, Mylan says, you know, correction imminent, right? And somebody's coming into us from Nigeria. Welcome. All right. So, you know, not bullish, not bearish, but the question is, you know, crypto.com has resistance at 47 cents. You know, if there's like an uptick, or if there's a blow up pop, that's probably where it's going to go. Get Harmony up on this system. Okay. Someone's asking for AVAX. So I've got AVAX. I'm hearing that AVAX is a possible token unlock coming up. I have to confirm that, right? Okay. So here's the situation in AVAX. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look bad. I remember I was talking about 82 being resistance. So far, it's holding 83, right? Let's look at a daily chart, right? See, there's that support point that I was talking about at 82. So AVAX may be one of those coins that's catching everybody sleeping, right? First, it was doing great. Then everybody was afraid of the token unlock. And I'm wondering if 82 acts as support, whether or not some DeFi money may funnel into AVAX. So if Bitcoin and Ethereum don't go down, right, there may be an up leg, and it actually may include Solana, right? Let's take a look at Solana just for laughs, right? So we talked about Solana going to 105 and then coming off. So that's pretty much what we have. And now the big question is, what do they want to do at 100? right? Most likely people are going to take profits for like a day or two. That's a guess, right? Because Solana went to resistance and we're not really into buying resistance. All right. Taz, what does it mean that there's an unlock? Well, it means that, Avalanche venture capitalists and Avalanche, the project itself, may be able at a point where they can unlock tokens. Now that's not verified yet, but I'm still working on it. In other words, a lot of times that brings supply into the market. Okay, someone's asking for Rose, bringing that up. Again, kind of the same thing, right? This is where it was in mid-February before it rolled over. So could Rose break out? Sure, it could, right? I mean, I don't see anything here that looks like a top. It doesn't look terrible, right? Let's take a look at YGG if I have it here. Yes, I do. All right, let's look at the 4-hour chart, and maybe we can look at other coins in the metaverse. All right, so YGG had this like dramatic spike. So here's the 13 bottom, right? So charts by symbolic here, really helpful, right? You have a 13 bottom, and then, you have the 13 top, probably, I don't know, yesterday. What was this? Right, actually on the 28th. So, it's possible that YGG finds support maybe at $3 or at $2.97 and then goes back up again. Right. I can definitely see why people would be buying the dip at $3. Okay. Most likely you could get a dip to $2.97 if highly speculative assets get hit. All right. Hello from Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome. Okay. Here comes GHST. Okay, not getting a big read there. Let's try it over here. Okay, something very similar. If you're looking at a daily chart, looks, I don't know, it looks a little sick, right? In other words, with all the bullish things that have happened in crypto, right, it looks like people around this 196 level are giving up. Now, that said, right, we have seen this, like, everyone gives up, and then all of a sudden some positive catalyst comes in. In this coin, you're definitely going to need some sort of positive catalyst. All right. Ethereum Classic. Oh my. Okay, there's the 4-hour chart of Ethereum Classic, right? And here is like the reasons not to FOMO, right? You had a bottom here, a 13 bottom. It went up and then crashed. Here, it looks like you had multiple sort of like shooting star candlestick formations, 13 tops, right? And then it turns around and may wind up at 27. So if you're holding this stuff, you might be braced for a dip. But if you're looking to buy a dip, you may get one, right? Will Bitcoin Cash ever reach its all-time high at 4K? That's a good question. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash and see what we can get. So the thing about Bitcoin Cash, that they sort of advertised was that Bitcoin Cash was going to somehow be better than Bitcoin, that somebody would adopt it because it's faster. Well, the reality is, and this made me upset because I was into Dash, right? One of my colleagues was into Nano. Fact of the matter is, Bitcoin Cash gives you these great short squeezes, but then it comes off. Okay. So I can't tell you that Bitcoin Cash will never go up. I can tell you that right now, Bitcoin seems like the thing that everyone wants to own. It's a little overdone in the short term, right? But one day, I guess far off in the future, when Bitcoin becomes so scarce, people are going to want to look at alternatives. Somebody's asking, will Hex reach an all-time high? Someone's asking for Curve, saying Curve looks better every day. Okay, so a 4-hour chart of Curve does show a decent looking uptrend, right? But again, you know, do you want to be buying it into resistance, right? This is where the whole decline started from on the 21st of February. So make sure you check yourself and you don't wind up FOMOing in when it's just easiest to wait for a dip, okay? Hello from Rotterdam. Can I check MOVR? I would be happy to for our friends from overseas. By the way, folks, if you like the new DeMark work and you like some of this momentum things, some of the new TA that we're doing, please hit the like button. Ooh, wow. Look at this thing. From 73 to 80, this is today, right? And then back down again. So these DeMark automated support points, automated resistance points, they're handy, right? They're handy. Now, I think with this coin, 72 is support, right? And resistance is at 80. And I think it's just that simple, right? In other words, it doesn't pay to buy resistance. It doesn't, right? Now, if maybe this climbs back above 75, because that's where the give up trade started in Moon River, okay, then all right, maybe it's okay. But, you know, this shows you the danger of FOMO, right? When you FOMO into resistance, you wind up with losses. All right, let's take a look at Hex. See if I can. I don't think it's available on this part of the system. I met this guy once on an interview. The guy that invented this. Okay, let's see if I can get a deeper price history. I know there's more price history than that. Okay, still looking for Hex. Don't go anywhere. All right, there it is. No, that's not it. All right, let me come back. I'll figure out Hex for the next. All right, hello from New York City. Can you do Shiba? Yes, I can. Dying to see what Shiba looks like on the DeMark. All right, so don't have the support and resistance levels, but I do have a 9 top. I do have a rush up into support, into resistance, right? Don't buy resistance. Let this thing dip. You may get a 1 to 2 day dip. You might get more than that, right? You know, if they're going to smoke the funny stuff in equities and it's equities up, crypto down, and vice versa, you may get better prices, right? All right, so somebody is asking about Algorand. Let's take a look at that to see what Algorand's given us. All right, so Algorand topped out a long time ago, right? Probably back on the 28th, right? Now you've got this DeMark 4, which means you could be looking at 5 more down bars. So you could be looking at 1 or 2 down days in Algorand. Now, I don't know if it's going to go all the way back to 74 cents, but I don't think you have to hurry up and and do anything right now. Okay, that said, there is support at 81 cents. So if you're like, oh my God, I must have Algorand, there's support at 81 cents. You probably got another day or two, right? Hello from Africa. Somebody looking for Audius. Seattle in the house. Welcome. Okay, so the world of hurt and Audius seems to continue, right? The 13 top was around 90 cents. Now it's back down at 82. So let's go over here and look at the market to see what's happening. Okay, so the market's starting to get hit a little bit here. And this underscores the point that I'm trying to make about either, taking your tactical profits at resistance or not FOMOing in because you feel like you missed a 15% rally. So you can see this 13 top in Bitcoin really starting to have an impact. And there's a moving average down at 41. This is actually a 90-minute Bitcoin chart. Okay. All right. People pouring in now. Chainlink. Okay, so things are sort of repeating themselves here, right? This is a short-term chart of Chainlink. Right? Chainlink looks also very toppy. Okay, let me go to my DeFi board. Let's switch over to that. Hey, Jur says, hey, dude, is Digibyte a dead duck? All right, well, let's take a look at Digibyte if we can find it. Okay. All right, so the answer to your question may be yes, because, nobody was interested in buying it based on charts. Now, I was actually in a webinar with Ian Bellina. He's our CEO and founder, and his recommendation to our premium holders was, in this environment, you want to get total shit coins out of your portfolio. Now, not dissing Digibyte, but if you've got stuff that's not working out, you had a 20% rally in crypto, you got to ask yourself, do I want to stay married to this? Okay. Not financial advice. All right. Let's see what XRP is doing. All right, so no disastrous DeMark work on the 4-hour XRP chart. But as you can see with this structure over here, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so just give it room and let it correct. Just give it room, right? Now, if you're long, that sucks, or that doesn't suck. I mean, it's not going down. It's not doing anything terrible, right? So if you're long and you want to try to hold it, great. You just need to be reminded, right? Just remember the geopolitical conflict is still on. I didn't go on and on about it today, right? But that doesn't mean it's not reality. Now, I'm focusing on altcoins today because I know y'all love that. You don't want to hear about, war and other problems. But you remember, altcoins are speculative assets. Only the best speculative assets are going to survive. And even in those cases, you probably want to buy them on sharp dips. You definitely don't want to buy stuff into resistance. Okay. QNT. Ooh, that's another one that I can't stop liking QNT, even though the price action may not be with me. I call them my bad habit coins, like Rune, QNT, Yearn Finance, Sushi. Sushi. to death of me. Okay, so QNT actually has support, right, around 114. So dare I say it, but this actually looks okay. There was a 9 top, but remember what I was telling you about 9 tops, right? You get the 9 top, you get the counter trend move. Then if it actually starts moving in the other direction, it can be a bigger trend. So this QNT is like stablecoin plumbing system, like SWIFT for central bank digital currencies, perhaps in Latin America. So, I don't want to smoke the funny stuff, right? Because it's a bad habit coin, but other coins don't look as good as that one does. Let's put it that way. Okay. Gunblazer says, yes, I have a sushi bag. You're a part of the sushi pain club. Let's just see what the damage is. Let's check it out. Okay. See, it's like, there's no end to the pain, right? There's a 13 top. That's probably where I would FOMO in. That's why I don't watch it, right? Because I'd be like, oh my God, I got to have it. Okay. Yeah. Right. Boom. Right. Just like this 9 top over here. And now everyone's selling it again, right? Speculative assets in a massively uncertain environment. All right. But it doesn't mean right. QNT is UK based, not Latin America. Okay. Good point. Just saying QNT may have a use in Latin America. That's what I was kind of hinting at. Okay. Let's take a look at see what else we got going on here. Someone's asking for UTK. Wow, some really wild action here on the 4-hour chart. So you see these wicks on these candles in this 9 top, right? You had a lot of wicks over here, right? Not exactly at the same level, but one thing I like to tell people in altcoins is you got to watch out for what I call the double spike, right? Like big spike up, fail down, big spike up, fail. Oh, I don't know. So somebody is unloading on this thing every time it goes to 30 cents, and I'll leave it there. All right. Now, somebody is asking for near. Let's go to the layer one board, and let's take a look at near. Okay, so I covered near in the market update. Right. Basically, I'm thinking that near is definitely on the buy the dip list. So here's your 9 top on the 4-hour chart, right? And then it comes back down, but there may be buyers around 10. Okay. So I think if anything holds, let's see what the daily chart looks like. All right. Now, again, you have a lot of resistance at $12.48. So even though this is a good project, just not really into paying up into resistance, right? Near, I think, is something you buy on the dip. Now, is $10 the dip? Maybe, right? I say wait until there's a definite bottom in ETH and then jump in and just do it that way, right? So let's go back to the market, right? It's not doing much. It's down like 1%. Okay. Any thoughts on Moonbeam? All right. I'll have to look into Moonbeam for another chart session. Daniel's asking for XLM. Okay, Grant's got a good question. He says, what's your go-to indicator? Okay, well, in this market, it's the DeMark work, right? I also like the Williams indicators, okay? This alligator moving average system. In other words, when this alligator moving average, right, Okay, so here's Stellar, and then I'll go back to that. So obviously I like all this DeMark work. The DeMark work draws an automated resistance point around 1965 in Stellar. And then, Stellar has probably got one or two more down days before it corrects. Now, to answer the earlier question about like what indicator I kind of like the best, I really like this Williams alligator moving average system. In other words, when this thing opens up like this, the market goes down when they all cross over at once. This Williams moving average system incorporates daily, intraday. It eliminates the need to have you look at like 3 or 4 charts at once, right? To look at moving averages. So, sometimes there are trades when it gets too far away and comes back. It's got a whole theory wrapped around it. So those are the ones I like. Okay, Optimo is asking for XMR. All right, and folks, please hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got 400 people on the stream. Let's try to get 300 to 400 likes. Okay, privacy. All right, now, again, this is all very interesting. Huge moonshot in Monero off the invasion, but there is a 13 top, a 9 top, and a lot of resistance at 182. So, I don't know. I mean, if you look at the last time Monero was up at 185, you got the 13 and the 9 top, and it got crushed. Now, obviously, we're in a different world. So while we're at that, let's just look at Zcash. Okay. This is another one of these things that, it's like Dash or Litecoin. It just can't get going. So sure, as soon as you go and think you should take a look at it, there's the 13 top, and there's the automatic DeMark resistance at 126. Okay. All right. Crypto guy, we did Audius already in the video. All right. All right. We have like an Axie Infinity fan who's looking for an update, right? So let's check that out. All right. So this is interesting in the sense that, yes, there's a 9 top, but it didn't back off, right? It didn't back off, right? Now, yeah, people sold it on the FOMO today, and they sold it on the FOMO yesterday at 60. So sellers are kind of sitting on it. But you know what? In 2 days, if this is not down, then maybe this coin's making a statement, right? Maybe there's something going on in the gaming or metaverse world. So, it's at resistance. Don't buy resistance, but don't go anywhere, because that's the cool thing about this DeMark work. Always pays to come back and tune into the show to see what the latest indicators are. Okay. Meitzer likes Ichimoku, right? Some of the smartest people I know like that, right? Somebody says Bill Williams is the man. Fractals are helpful too. That is very true. Fractals are really helpful. I actually read the guy's book, Trading Chaos, right? A lot of it's about emotional and psychological management, but the stuff about the moving averages and the fractals is compelling. Okay. All right. IOTA, no resistance, no 9 top. Interesting, right? I think if I drew something on this chart, right? It's the old ceiling at 77 cents, maybe coming to floor. So if all coins get smacked, but somebody buys IOTA, that could be constructive. That could be constructive. Somebody out there said, great stream. I appreciate that. Let's look at SNX. This is another like bad habit coin. All right. So again, DeFi boo-hoo. We got to wait for these layer 2 solutions. My understanding is there's 2 layer 2 solutions that are going to come out, right? They're going to issue coins, and they're going to change everything. More on that for tokenmetrics.com subscribers. In the meantime, you had a 9 top, right, before the invasion, I would guess. Whoops. right? And then you had another 9 top and a 13 top maybe yesterday. So, you know, they're kind of sitting on all these coins. Now let's go to the metaverse. Let's see what's going on over there. Okay, Steve, I appreciate that. He says I deserve thousands of views. Okay, one day that will happen. Okay, here's API 3 for anyone interested in that. Okay, API 3, right? Massive FOMO above $8, and then it came back down, right? So the floor, the ceiling did not become the floor. The ceiling is now back to being the ceiling around $7.75. So you probably got, I don't know, 1 to 2 more down days. Okay, Tornado Cash. This is like privacy and DeFi. Wow. All right. So obviously you got the 9 top at $45 on some pretty heavy duty FOMO, right? And now it's just sort of sitting quietly. Now, sometimes when things sit quietly, that can be a prelude to like much higher prices, right? It could also mean it's just found an equilibrium after being wild and is sort of dead. Now, if you look at the daily chart, you've got a 13 top 2 days ago. So you may be looking at like 34.60, right? And see if that actually holds, right? Because there's this resistance zone, and now it's time to see if that acts as support, right? We just have to kind of wait and see. Okay, I see a request for STX. Okay, so there's the 13 bottom in STX on the daily chart. Okay, I've been working off the 4 hour just to try to be consistent. All right, so again, you know, there's your 9 and your 13 top. You know, really, they really tried to ram it up there. Right now, it's just time to wait and see. Are we going to have a down move to $1.12? Right? I'm just thinking, you know, I guess the best case scenario is that it lurches up to 114. Right? You do have a possible head and shoulders bottom here. Right? Here's the head. Here's the head and the 2 shoulders. So it will be interesting to see if $1.22 holds. If STX is DeFi on Bitcoin or DeFi with Bitcoin, this may be worth a look. You come back and we look at it on the show, and at the 13 top, does it make it go down? That will tell you something. That will tell you something. All right. Let me see if I can find Convex. Okay, KDA. It doesn't want to show up on this system. All right, let's take a couple more. Okay, Elron coming through. So we've been tracking Elron for a while. Okay, so there's resistance at 153. Okay, my drawing tool's not working. Okay, so if I take this out of it, and there's something important you have to remember in Elron, right? You have to remember this in all altcoins. So this is Elliott Wave done by DeMark, right? You have A, B, C. You have to be careful about trend resumption, right? You have to be careful about that, right? Right? Now, there's nothing up here that looks terrible, okay? But clearly there's a high at 152, and you want to see Elrond above 152. So as is always the case, it comes down to pivots, right? If Elrond's above 152, it's okay. If it's below 152, then bears may have control of the market, okay? Why using symbolic? Well, because I grew up with DeMark indicators. He was kind of the original quant guy in TA. Like he went all the way back to the 80s with a skyscraper full of programmers. Now they've got their own version of TradingView almost that does the DeMark work that I used to use at Goldman on stocks. They've now got it for crypto, right? So it's easy for me to get immediate reads because I have to do a lot of speed TA, right? And it also makes for great television because if I chart your coin on a 4-hour basis, we see some signals, there's a huge reason to tune back in. Now, I didn't do it that way on purpose, but I am a TV guy after all. All right. Lots of Steve J is saying lots of rounding bottoms, Bill, looking to break the 200 on a 4-hour. So he's looking at a 200 period moving average on a 4-hour chart, and that is, that is a possibility. Now let's see. Okay, believe it or not, I can actually get Casper on the DeMark chart. So I know we have people who are just in a world of hurt on Casper. Okay, let me bring. So the verdict in Casper is, at right around 7 cents, there's support, 0.0694. So Casper has gone down there twice. It went through the support the first time. It pulled up short the second time. All right. Honestly, as with all these coins, right, you have got to see people's willingness to pay higher prices, right? You got to see it want to go up and take out a high point. Somebody was talking about fractals earlier. Okay. Fractals are things that help you, follow a trend. So this is an 8-hour chart of Casper, right? There's nothing going on here. There's no, these little dots, they're like trigger points. So if it goes above, say something that has a dot at the top, the fractal, that can be bullish. But I'm not seeing anything in Casper, right? I'm not seeing anything good or bad. But remember, this moving average system is still pointing, kind of down, right? So I don't think it's a disaster, but I don't think anything has changed in that part of the equation. Okay, let's try. Let me see if I can get Seek up here. Oh, they don't have, it's too small cap. All right, let's take a look at Sandbox. Okay. We were talking about the 9 top probably 2 days ago. Sandbox, it's tough. It keeps lurching up there. This candle was tough, right? Big up green candle, right? Right. Big up green candle, right? Then it goes higher and then turns around and reverses. Tough, right? Don't buy resistance. $3.15 is support there. Let's look at Decentraland. All right. Now, Decentraland doesn't have, I don't know, the kind of problems. It's sort of even Steven in terms of how it trades. All right. Let's just take a look at some of the DeMark work here. So in Decentraland, you could have a 13 top on the next rally. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean anything at the moment, but Decentraland is probably either going to correct or get sold on any big bounce. I guess in order to change that, you'd have to have a huge move through 3. But I'm just guessing that this is in consolidation mode. All right. All right. I'm going to do one more. All right. And that's going to be Polkadot. Because I know we have people suffering in Polkadot. Okay, so here's the 4-hour chart. And again, okay, so there's your 4-hour chart, right? There's your 13 top. Okay, they FOMO'd it up to 20. You know, now if $18.11 holds in Polkadot, that could be constructive, right? But obviously you had people selling it at 19 up here, and you had people selling it at 19 over there. The only thing that's going to change anything is a sharp bullish statement at $18, right? So you could get this like slumping correction. Then you got to ask yourself at 18, did buyers show up or not? Right? All right. Appreciate the love there. Right? All right. Okay, let's take a look at Gala since we're in the Metaverse tab. All right. Not good, not bad. So Gala has resistance, okay, right here, right, at 26 cents. They FOMO'd it up through there, and it failed. So this doesn't look that bad, but, you know, again, are you buying this at resistance? You know, Gala is probably a buy at 20.5 cents. Is it going to go down there? I don't know. What I do know is I don't feel like buying into resistance because, you know, this is a lot. This is like 2 or 3 days of people trying to FOMO into this right where they were FOMOing into it on the 25th, right? FOMO has not paid, and it has not paid to sell the bottom, right? I mean, I got it partially right? We got the low in Phantom. We said, you know, don't sell Bitcoin at 34, you know, and it went up more than we thought. This could be a situation where it goes down more than you think, right? In other words, everyone's like, oh my God, I missed it. Every time I hear that, it's like, oh my God, oh no, right? Remember, speculative assets can be in a tough place. This is a tough place for really speculative assets. Let me go to the Metaverse tab, right? Okay, we had people looking at RNDR. Okay, RNDR again, you know, shot way up today and came back down. Just looking at a daily candlestick. Okay, RMRK, right? It's the same type of a deal. It'll spike up. The question is, do you have to buy it right this second? Right? Someone's asking for Trader Joe. This is another like DeFi bad habit coin, right? Like Joe, Octopus Network. You know, this was like the teacup and handle that just broke the handle. It never went anywhere, right? So this is probably one of these like perma range bound coins. Let me see if Joe shows up here. It actually does. Right. So it looks like a range between $1.28 and 90 cents. Not a lot going on. Okay, folks, that's it for today, right? I will be here tomorrow. Parting words. Don't buy resistance. If you feel like you missed out, it's okay. I feel that way. The smartest people in crypto feel that way, right? That's why we got the Zen gong. Just relax. If it's the dawn of a new age in crypto, we're going to have time to sort it out, okay? So I appreciate everybody. All right, I appreciate you. I will be here tomorrow. This is Bill Noble. We'll see you later.